Yeah, I think we are back now. So, what is the thing we would like to achieve with this application? Like in the Pokemon section, we have more data behind this names only. We have the species, the gender, and so on and so on. And how would it be? Wouldn't it come handy if the user would click here on an item? And for, let's say, on this right side, there would be an info tile that would show off the complete information to this. Yeah, pretty much the same as we did in the Pokemon app, but now we are using Redux. To achieve this, I will now rewrite a little bit of the markup. Just please stick with me, and yeah, it's a preparation for us, so that we could more easily use it's a very easy markup Anpassung structure, markup adaptment. My God. So what we want to do is we want to keep this animal list, but we want to have a div here, and this div has a class name of row. As you might have noticed, I'm still using Bootstrap, if you wonder where this magic comes from. And inside this row, I want to have a div. And inside this div here, I want to make use of my animal list. There it is. And the thing why I wrap this with a div is to provide a cool structure. I will make use of the Bootstrap grid. And I know that in the row, I will have another div here. And in this div, I will provide a class name to it, like call of 8. And here, let's say for now, I will place a div here with a big headline inside of it, an h1, and inside here we say details. So it should look like this. And on a click here, I want to update the details of every animal here to the side. So we already achieved it in the Pokemon app, but now there's a difference, and I want to show you the difference if I bring up this slide again, because when we did it in the Pokemon app, we did something in the component. We had a method, and in the component itself there was this, the component state updated because we were fetching the new data. But now we want to go through the whole unidirectional data flow cycle, or through the React Redux pattern, where we will create an action, and this reaction will pass a reducer to the store, and the store will update the state, and after the state is updated, we see our UI. So this is the approach that we would like to go now, and to do so, just a moment. To do so, we will start with actions now. As you can see in my folder structure, in source we have now our index.js. We have here in source components, containers, reducers, and I want you to create a new folder here and call this folder actions. And inside this actions folder, I want you to create a new file called index.js. Yeah, and this is pretty much it. I want to export a function here that has a type, you know? So I will export a function select an animal is the name of the function. We will make use of it later. We pass an animal here, a single animal. And if we do so, we return an object with the type, with a type of animal is clicked, and with a payload of the animal that we passed here. So how do we make use of the action? If we check our flow, we see that the actions will be sent to reducers. So the next thing I would like to do with you, I would like to create an animal, a new reducer. So to do so, I want you to create a new file and name this selected animal reducer.js. And we stick for this pattern here, we'll return something from a function. But we are here now. So I want you to export default function, and we have here a state that we can pass, and we have the action to pass. I'm sorry. And now we want to iterate over several actions. In this case, we want to iterate over the, let's go, before we dive too deep into this, let's check our console log. What is inside the action, And this is action, this is the payload reducer. And let's check what is bound to action. I will make two console log for, let's say, action, and another one, if you are curious about it, it's the reducer state. So I will log this as well. But how do I make use of it? Well, because I'm not calling it, is there anything changed here? Are there any errors? There are no errors, nothing changed, because we didn't make use of this thing now. To do so, we first, we still have this list here, this animals list. And why not supplying a method here, an onClick method, And on click, I will start off very simple, providing the onClick function, and here I will now console log. You clicked the li. Just to show you how to make use of actions on the li, you click the li. It should work now. Yeah, you click the li, and every time I press one, we have this method here. Okay. We now want to make use of let me check. we now want to make use of this, sorry, this is the wrong method, of this method here. And we only have, there's nothing inside except a console log. But how do we reach this and how we can access it in the animal list? To do so, we will firstly need to import it. So we will import the name of the function from the action, because this is the flow, we need to select animal and we will need to import it in our animals list. So we import select animal from the actions, and here from actions, I think, yeah. So is it correctly imported? Any errors? It's not correctly imported. We are in animals list. We need to go one directionally up. So this should be it. Yeah, perfect. And I click the li, so the selected animal is here. And now we need to import something that comes from Redux, because we want to bind the actions. To do so, we need to import something that is called, a function that is called bind action creators from Redux. And as you could know, we need to somehow bind it here to our component. And to do so, there is a function, please stick with me and write it correctly, map dispatch to props. And we are providing a dispatch argument here, Then we go for our curly braces and we are returning the bind action creators function, and here with and we are here now binding this select animal to the props like we did here. So we have a right side, I call it select, it's a little bit stupid because I could ex6, but I will write it completely, select animal. You know what, maybe I could rename the action here in select an animal. Select an animal is now the name, and I will now import it in my list, select an animal, and to the left side, to the key side, we have the name as what appears this function inside our component, and to the right side we have select an animal, and this is the action we have bound to this. Not to forget the dispatch here. So let's check whether there's everything okay. Yeah, it looks okay now. And now what I want to do is I want to console log this, so we could see what happened to the... okay, I've forgotten something, because I also need to provide this map to dispatch to props to the connect function. And to do so, I simply, the order matters. So first comes map state to props, and here as second argument, you go for map dispatch to props in the connect method. Let's check for errors. There are no errors. And here we see our console log. So if we go here, now we can see that we have select animal bound as a function here, and it has the scopes of, and it's bound via the bind action creator. So if I would comment this out, let's see, I think it should lead in an error. Yeah, it must return in plain object, but yeah, there's nothing bound to it, as you can see here. So not only we can bind data structures to our props, but we also are able to bind functions to our props. And this is how we achieve it. So let's say I only would name this select. Any, I know it's not a very good variable name, but the thing I would like to show you is that this side is the side you are binding to the props, and the right side here is the side that comes from the actions, right? So let's double check. And as you can see here on the props, we have this select any. I will rename it to select animal, you know. And there's even something more we could do. We could use this React, this ECMAScript 6 syntactic sugar. I will show you by going into the actions, by renaming the function again into select animal. Yeah, so now we are export function select animal, and if I'm going to my list, I need to also import it correctly, and then because select animal is select animal, I would be able to condense it down to only one word. You know, what is written in here is select animal, but if the key on value are having the same name, we can only pass this, you know, for terms, I will show you, but I think for terms of readability, yeah, I should show it to you. I should let it be, you know, we have select animal here, bind as function, and now it's nothing happening. But for terms of readability, not syntactic sugarly, but for readability, I will let this here. Don't be confused about this. The right side, I repeat myself, is the side you are exposing it and binding it to the props of the component. When the left side of it is how you bind it to the properties, and the right side is that how it came from the actions. So what we want to do now is on click method of this li, we want to call this dot props dot select animal, and we need to pass an animal, but to do so, you know, I think I'm a little bit too deep here from scope. I need to remove this because we can easily write. Oh no, I'm still too deep. Just give me a sec. I'm on it. So just remove everything and just have on click with curly braces, and then go for this props, because if you have seen here, we have the select animal now as function bound to the props. So you are passing it and you are binding the scope of this specific clicked animal that comes here. The scope goes here to the animal. So what you are binding here, what you are providing, or what you are saying is, yeah, it should be something like, or I think it's something like this. Can I call it? Hopefully, I'm not sure if I have the scope here. This dot props dot select animal, and then I would pass an animal here. But it's way better to go the React way by binding the scope by this. We will discuss this a little bit later. I think I've showed you once. So what is happening? We are inside a map here, and this points to this animal, and we are calling the properties here, the function. So what do we expect to happen now? I expect to happen now that we are calling the action, and the action is imported It's not import, but it's here in the reducer. And so if I call this action with this name, you know, I need to check for myself. You know what, just give me a moment. The animals list is here. Did I save it? Oh no, I was wrong. Sorry, I told you a wrong thing, because it's clearly that we didn't need to pass the scope, so it's a cycle, you know, it passes itself down. But what this function really wants is an animal, so we're providing it an animal. So now, oh, we're having a lot. We're having a nice little loop. This loop comes because I'm executing, you know, I need to kill my browser window, and I think it will get very loud. Yeah, okay. And the mistake I've made, you know, it's happening sometimes. It's on click is called directly, and it's every time it's we need to pass it down to and we need to put it into a fat arrow like this, you know, because we are not binding this, so we need to bring it a level deeper, so it's not a self-invoked function that calls itself, but it calls it only on the click method and is then returned. So if I go to localhost 8000 there and open my console, and I'm clicking here, you know, just give me a brief moment. I need to double check some things, but I will be right